Am I wrong for refusing to clean my room after my parents dumped my brother's trash in it? I have a decent room. I keep the trash out, but I'm not that organized. My brother is almost 20 years old and still lives at home, and I'm 15. My parents are nice, and thankfully there's no golden child thing going on. So last week, one of the outlets in my brother's room sparked and shut down the power in his entire room. And as a result, his room had to run off a generator or something. So on Friday, the electric guy came to fix his bedroom, and my brother had a bunch of boxes and trash in his room. So my mom and my brother made the absolutely genius decision to dump all his trash into my room. When I came home, I was pissed because there were 3 boxes, 2 trash bags, one that fell and it was open, and trash spilled all over my room. Needless to say, I was really pissed. So I decided I was just going to ignore all the trash in my room. And yesterday my mom came into my room and told me to clean my disgusting room. Am I wrong for refusing to clean my room after my parents dumped my brother's trash in it? When I came home, I was pissed because there were 3 boxes, 2 trash bags, one of which fell down and it was open, and trash spilled all over my room. So I decided that I was just going to ignore all the trash in my room. But yesterday, my mom came into my room and told me to clean my disgusting room. And I told her she needs to clean my room because she's the one who made the mess in my room. And she responded that it's my responsibility to clean my own room because she's giving me housing and food. I told her that I didn't ask to be born, and she threatened to take away my computer. I told her she can pay me $1,000 for it because I paid for the whole thing. Now my mom thinks I was being entitled and she's all mad and my room is not clean. Am I wrong? Top comment says, not wrong, why isn't your brother cleaning up the crap in your room? Another comment says that he's not wrong and to dump it in his mom's room, which I would not recommend unless you want to be kicked out.
Am I the arsehole for letting my husband's party go horribly wrong? So my husband threw a barbecue party for his friends and it was a complete disaster. So my husband likes to invite his friends and note his friends around for barbecues. I'm not close with them at all. And this man prides himself on his barbecuing skills. But the thing is, I'm the one that always ends up doing everything. So all he ever does is sort of just buy and grill the meat and then he collects praise for the whole event. Whereas it's me that buys the drinks. And then it's also me that has to clean up and tidy the patio and decking area. I prepare all of the sides and vegetables for him and his friends. And then throughout the night, I'll make sure that everyone's drinks stay topped up too. We don't use like plastic paper cups and stuff like that because I find it a little bit wasteful. So I wash up at the end of the night as well. And I'm not gonna lie, it just kind of feels like non-stop work for me all night. And literally last week he was like, I'm having all my friends around this Saturday. I was like, okay. And I said like, do I know anyone? He quite abruptly said no, and that it was all of his friends from work and none of their wives were coming. It was just a boys' night. And I was like, fine, guys' night, fine. So I said, if you need me, I will be in my craft room with a bottle of wine. Do not disturb me, but you enjoy yourself. And he was like, yeah, I can handle it. Spoiler alert, he did not handle it. From what I can tell, he did the meat all fine, but he just didn't do any of the other preparation. I was so sick and tired of being taken for granted. And to be fair, he never actually asked me for help. I just do it, but it kind of felt expected. So I just sat back and did nothing. The patio was an absolute mess. All the upholstery on our furniture was so messy from the dogs. There was stuff just absolutely everywhere. The table was messy. So they all arrive, I welcome them, say hi, and then I excuse myself to my craft room. So I just popped some music on, I drank my wine and just worked for a little bit. Cue the messages. He started asking for help. He's like, where are the plates? Context, we only keep a small amount in the kitchen. The rest of them, they're in the basement. Where are the cups? Why isn't the beer chilled? Where's the non-alcoholic beer? Did you not buy it? The sides. And I just replied and said, you were handling it. So this is where I feel like I might have been the arsehole. Let's face it, it would have taken me literally minutes to tell him where everything was. I checked on the guys a little bit later and it was an absolute disaster. Everything was everywhere. The table was all cluttered. They had to order takeout so they could have some sides. There weren't enough silverware or dishes. Someone literally had to go and drive to get more drinks. Today, he's been super grumpy all day and he has said that he's disappointed in me. He said he's sad that I didn't pull my weight and that I was the one that had made our family look really sloppy and bad. I told him that I am not his little housewife. I said if he embarrassed himself in front of his workmates, he's a big guy and that's on him. He got really mad and went for a run to blow off some steam. Oh, and the patio is still full of dishes. So what do you think?
Am I the asshole for fake sleeping all night to see if my wife is lying? The past couple of months, my wife has been complaining about our cats. She's been claiming that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's frustrated every night that she has to get up and open the door for the cats. Or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. It got me to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I've told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through it all. She kept telling me that she was getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep from the cats and that if I didn't get rid of them, she'd leave me. I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister until I noticed something. One morning, she claimed she had gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird because I had been up until 4 a.m. and she claimed that she got up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept, and I know none of this happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she said she was going to bed, then I let the cats out of our bedroom. I lowered my phone brightness and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in my bed for the entire night bored, but I definitely did not fall asleep. I made sure to make timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little noise around 3:18 a.m. and one ate food relatively quietly by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing happened. Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m. and that morning she claimed she had woken up at least 7 times to open doors from the cat noises and cats jumping on her. At this point, I was pissed because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies, so I bluntly called her out on it. I told her, "That's funny. I stayed up all night to monitor the cats and they weren't even in the room at all last night. I have timestamps and everything, so you've been lying to me and trying to convince me to get rid of my cats? Why?" She just sat there quietly shaking and looking pissed, then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I talked, and when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in the situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not. And that making timestamps and everything as if I was an investigator was going too far and makes me an obsessive asshole. I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of the cats or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up. So am I the obsessive asshole here? Update: my wife has been Baker acted. She did not hurt herself, just said something concerning in public. I got a call from the hospital this morning asking me to head over to some family therapy. Apparently she finally wanted to talk. I'll be honest, I'm pretty pissed at the reason why she's been so hateful towards my cats. It's absolutely insane. It's nothing that anyone has suggested. She's not cheating, she's not sick physically or mentally, she's not bored of the relationship or looking for an out. According to her, one of the cats stepped on her laptop and ruined a story she was writing. She's hated both cats ever since. I mean, that sucks, but it's not worth trying to emotionally blackmail me into getting rid of them. I asked her why she didn't just tell me the truth and why she'd been lying and refused to talk about it when I asked. Her answer was, because you wouldn't have gotten rid of them otherwise, and explained that when she saw I wasn't willing to abandon them for her, she took offense and made it a goal to have me pick her over them. Sickening. Don't know why she actually admitted to it all. The woman with us asked me how I felt about all of it, and I just told the truth. I told her it was a nice run, but I'm probably going to want a divorce. I was asked why, and I told them. I see a new hateful, malicious side of her that I want nothing to do with. She was so set on getting rid of the cats over a fan fiction being ruined that she manipulated her husband. My wife started shouting at me that I betrayed her and that I'm a scum for choosing animals over her. At least cats don't give ultimatums like she gave. It sucks that she's been Baker acted and all, I guess, but it's for the best right now. She'll have time to process it in a safe environment and hopefully come to terms with it. Bad husband, I know. I'm almost sure I'm going for divorce. I'm very worried about having her in the same house as my cats. I want my cats safe and I don't want to worry about them being harmed or disappearing. Screw that. I guess I'll do what almost all of you suggested. Keep the cats, rehome the wife. Not how I wanted it to end, but life isn't always nice.
Am I the asshole for pulling out of planning my sister's wedding, causing her to lose the venue? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I will list the source in the caption of this video. As a wedding planner who has been in the industry for many years now, my 31 male party trick amongst close friends and family is being able to guess how long my clients' marriages will last with pretty alarming accuracy. If you ask anyone in the industry, there are specific indicators while working with a couple that will allow us to be able to gauge compatibility. I can usually get down to a 6-month window when predicting when photos of each other will disappear from socials. This is not me taking joy in crashing and burning of relationships. Working in this career field can actually leave you feeling jaded about relationships in general, which is why I'm reluctant to work for family and friends. The specific stress wedding planning puts on some people and couples can bring out the worst in them that you don't see in them in everyday life. My sister is getting married early next year and practically begged me to plan her wedding. Despite my stance on clients I know personally, I finally gave in and we began the process back in March. Last week while we were meeting and finalizing a few things, she asked me about the party trick I mentioned. She said since I had been working with her and her fiancé for months now, I could give my prediction as to how long they were going to last. I laughed and tried to move on. I thought she was joking, but she continued to press the issue. after her continuously bothering me about this for at least 15 minutes when I'm trying to move on. I do have work outside of this specific appointment with her that I needed to get to. I finally told her that I thought that they would last forever. She claimed that she didn't believe me and wanted my real number, so I shrugged and I told her the truth. 1.5 years. She was livid. I felt incredibly uncomfortable with the whole ordeal, especially with how little she respected my boundaries in what was supposed to be a professional setting, and just tried to usher her out of my office. Instead, she began ranting about my own marriage and said she gives us till the end of the year before we break up, and accused me of being a homewrecker. She finally left and I emailed her saying that I would no longer be involved in the planning. I gave her the contact information for all of the vendors we were working with, but I told her that the venue would no longer be available as they only book to the people they have existing relationships with, and my involvement was necessary. I have had to break up with clients before, but this felt particularly rough. She has now told our parents that I'm purposely sabotaging her wedding, and that I was unforgivably rude to her when she just asked a playful question. I feel very silly for letting a person disrespect my boundaries over and over again, something I typically wouldn't tolerate, but now I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong.